Okay, Ed Akehurst here, back for part two on building relationships in social media. I was just going to do another, typing and talking video, but I wanted to just kind of look you in the eye and chat with you for just a moment before we dive into part two. I want to do a little recap on part one. If to refresh your memory, this whole thing started because someone asked a question about, hey, how do I kind of break the ice and get into conversations with people so I can really get my marketing off the ground if I don't have a network. So I talked about building a foundation in video one, going out and finding groups that you can kind of get seen and get your name seen a little bit. And remember, one of the most important things to remember, you have to take the action, but one of the most important things to remember about taking the action is you're not necessarily looking for direct interaction at the foundation stage. If you get that, it's fantastic, but consider it a bonus. Okay. The main point is recognition, name recognition. And even if that's subconsciously, they might get a friend request from you, for example, or a message from you, and they may go, I don't know this person, but that name is so familiar. And it's because they've seen your posts, they've reacted to your posts, they've made comments on your posts, or they've seen your name come up in the notifications. If it was me was doing the foundation, Ed Akehurst reacted to your post, or Ed Akehurst left a comment on a thread you're following, or they've seen your name before. This is not the first time. It's not popping up as just some complete random stranger. Even though you are a complete random stranger, you no longer have that perception in their mind because they've seen your name. So that's the point of the foundation. And if you get direct interaction and you build relationships right from the groups before you even send any messages or requests out, that's fine, but that's a bonus. Okay. That does mean you're doing something right. And in those groups where you're getting direct interaction, maybe spend a little more time and a little more focus, because those people really are truly connecting with you. But uh, beyond that, you've done your foundation. You've spent at least a week doing that, and hopefully you can watch this video before, but don't put the things in play here until that foundation's built that I'm going to show you in this video, putting these into play. We're going to talk today about breaking the ice. Okay, so these are your initial conversations. All right, and then in part three, we'll talk about building an actual relationship with someone. It's kind of three parts: build the foundation, break the ice so that you can get into a conversation, and then build the relationship. Part of breaking the ice that I'll talk about a little bit, and for you to keep in mind as we're going through this, is you might reach out to people and they're absolute jerks. They are not people you want to work with. Okay, so part of the breaking the ice is this person a good fit for me? You know, the beauty of having lots of customers online and getting to that point is you can say no to people. You don't need everyone as your customer. Why would you want everyone as your customer? Not everyone's a good fit for you. I fire customers all the time, and the best time to fire them is before they become a customer. You're chatting with somebody, you're not getting along with them, you don't like them, block them, unfriend them, delete the conversation, right? Move on. That's one of the beauties of working online. Okay, so keep that in mind. Part of breaking the ice is not only are you trying to get into a conversation with him where they'll listen to what you have to say, but you also want to keep an eye at how they respond to you. And is this even someone that you want in your network, that you even want to work with? Whether it's selling a product to them, or bringing them in on a network marketing opportunity, or providing a service to them, whatever your end marketing goal is, pay attention to these people, because some of them you might not want as clients. I'll give you an example real quick, and then we'll dive into this sheet. Yesterday, I had a conversation with someone, and we found out that someone was going back and forth between he and I, trying to shop the lowest price. And I always just send them on. When people come to me, if they're asking for a volume discount, hey, I need 5 licenses for my team, or hey, if I buy multiple softwares, do I get a discount? I'll discount. Okay, I'll make a deal. I'll make an offer. I'll work something out with them. That's a good client. That's someone I want on board. But if they're looking at one piece of software and they just want to get it as cheaply as possible, I do not want to work with that person. I don't want them. They have a broken mindset. They're looking to say, what is the phrase my dad used to say? They're tripping over dollars to pick up dimes. They're lost. They're not focused on the right thing. They want to save a couple of bucks, and that's fine if people want to do that. But they're not my customer. Okay, that's not the person I want to work with. I don't work with people like that. There are other people that can, and they may need someone else's services, but I'm not the person for them, and I don't want them. So keep an eye, those are the things I keep an eye out for. If I catch people doing that kind of stuff, hey, I wish you the best of luck. I'm probably not the best person to work with. Have a great life. Bye-bye. Unfriend, delete, gone. So with that being said, let's go take a look at some other things. And what we're going to talk about, as I just said, is in this video is breaking the ice. So foundation is done. Okay, so we can put a check mark next to foundation. That's already finished. All right, there's nothing else to be done on there. So now, what do we want to work on? Okay, there's a guy I've been following for a very long time. His name's Travis Sago. Seek him out. He's a good guy. He's got a lot of good info. I actually have a product of his that I'm licensed to sell. That's phenomenal, but all of his stuff is phenomenal. So if you get a chance, check him out. But I'm going to take him out of here. I just wanted to credit him momently. But what he says is pretend, actually, kind of pretend you're at a picnic, right? And let me just get that typed and then I'll talk. Pretend you're at a picnic. All right. When you're talking to these people, when you're breaking this ice and you're talking to pretend you're at a picnic. I see so many people, they're in Messenger and they're just, all their questions are driven at nothing but trying to get them to buy their product. If they build websites, hey, do you have a website? Well, you should have found that out before you converse with them, in my opinion. But hey, do you have a website? Hey, how's it going? Hey, I build websites. Do you need a better one? Can I make you a better one? You're losing traffic. I can, it's all about it. It's just a pushy salesperson. Like you walk into a car dealership. You walk into a car dealership and most of them people hound you. You got 6 guys coming trying to get your attention. One of them drags you off and just trying to work a deal. If you're in Messenger doing that, you're doing it wrong. Okay. It may work for people if you get enough conversations, but that's a lot of work. And it's just a poor way to do business. Pretend you're at a picnic, right? Talk about the things that you would talk about at a picnic, right? And this is all, I got this stuff from Travis. Okay. Talk about things as if you're at the picnic. Okay. Break this line a little bit so you can see it. Like you're at the picnic. All right. What are you going to talk about at a picnic? If you have let's say you're a network marketer. Well, let's say you're a realtor. Are you going to go up to somebody while they're standing next to you in line and they're getting potato salad and you're waiting to get your serving of it? Are you going to say, hey, have you thought about selling your house recently? I can help you with that. No. You're going to ask them more personal questions. You're going to say, hey, what brought you here today? Or find something in common. They're getting potato salad. Maybe you love potato salad. Hey, how is that? Have you tried it yet? Or is this your first portion? Find something in common that you can talk about. If you're at a picnic, talk about the weather, talk about the food, talk about the people, talk about the event, talk about the area that you're in. Ask them questions about their life. How far do they have to drive to get there? All that kind of stuff. It's the same on social media. Now, you're not going to talk about a picnic because you're not at a picnic, but where are you? You're on Facebook, right? Or you're on some other platform. But, primarily what I deal with mostly is Facebook, although we do, stuff on LinkedIn and other places. But find something that you can talk about, okay? Personal is probably best. Business is okay, all right? But don't make it about you, all right? Don't make it about you. I'm going to have to fix my little typo there. I told you in the first video, I'm not the greatest typist. Okay. Personal conversation, business conversation is fine if it's not about you. Something to remember is people, and this is really important, love talk about themselves. Okay. They love it. They love to talk. They would rather talk about themselves than talk about you. Now, after you've built a relationship, you'll have gotten a chance to talk about some of the things you do. But at this breaking the ice stage, you really need to get them talking about themselves. Okay. There's a couple of reasons for this. One, it truly breaks the ice and if you don't know this phrase, it's I guess it's an American phrase, although it's probably used elsewhere in the world. It just means a way to get a conversation started. All right. Instead of, treading lightly and walking around on top of the ice and maybe slip. The ice is broken. You're in the water. You're swimming around. You're getting with these people. Although now that I think about it, that's a pretty bad example. I don't want to be swimming in frozen water, but that's what the phrase means. So people love to talk about themselves. So one thing you can do, and again, people don't like to do this because it's work, but you go to Facebook, right? And I'm going to go. Let me go to my friends list. All right, let me just go to my friends list, and I'll just use some of these people as an example. Okay. Um, Here's one. This guy posts about business, but also personal stuff, right? So let's say you've never known this Joe guy, right? And Joe's a friend of mine. He's a good guy. I mean, like an actual friend, not just somebody I know on Facebook. Although I only know him on Facebook, he's become a really good friend of mine. So he does business stuff, right? You can see he's doing his business stuff up here, but scroll down and see what else he does. All right, he posts positive sayings. Maybe you can find something that you like that you could talk about. Um, Yeah, look at that. Success is the sum of small efforts. So by not quitting, it's already a huge success. Okay. So you could talk about that. Hey, I saw your thing about not quitting being a huge success. It took me a long time to learn that. And it's nice to see that, something like that. Just say something nice to the guy, again at the picnic. Whether you like his shirt or not, you're going to compliment him, right? If you don't like his shirt, you may not say nice shirt, but you might say, "Hey, that looks like a comfortable shirt," or you're not going to knock him down. So, thank somebody for saying, "Hey, I saw that. That was really nice. I enjoyed seeing that." Um, People like to do that. And actually, I'm going to pop over here real quick, and we're gonna add that to our list. Compliment them, okay? Compliment them. Say nice. Find things that you can say nice about them. Um, okay, so he's talking about his business stuff. He's got this thing called the Joe Show. That would be a good question to ask. Compliment them and ask questions, actual questions, not sales leading questions. Although some of them could be, and that is your goal. But you want to ask questions about people, right? So, what is this Joe Show thing for this guy? What is that? I see this Joe Show thing. I've never watched one. What's it about? Again, would Joe love it's a show he does, right? It's a show. Would he love to talk to you? Would he love to talk to you about his show? Absolutely, right? A lot of his posts are about that. And then something else I know Joe does, right? So I'm a vegetarian, so I don't get into a lot of Joe's cooking. But Joe does a lot of cooking. He does a lot of stuff on his grill or in his smoker. Here he is smoking salmon, asparagus, sausage, dogs, and shrimp on the barbecue, right? Doing this while his automation software is working, right? Say Joe's in the same business as I am, okay? Automation software. So, but he does this a lot. He gets on lives and he talks about his stuff. So if you like salmon or asparagus or you just like cooking, there's a thing you have in common that you can talk about. Find commonality, okay? But if you're not willing to take a little bit, or how long did it take me to find that info about Joe? I could scroll down here. I can find one good quote. I can see he's got this thing called the Joe Show. I can see he likes to do lives while cooking. What did that take? 30 seconds? Now I can go in and talk to a conversation. I would go to a guy like Joe and, you know, hey, cool, hey, cool vid, right? That's a compliment, right? Hey, cool vid. Um, about what was he doing? He was smoking, right? Is that what it was? Was he doing a smoker? Yeah, smoking salmon, right? Hey, cool vid about smoking salmon. I wouldn't do this because I'm a vegetarian. I personally would not do this because it wouldn't be legitimate, right? But if this is you, you could. Whoops, salmon. Um, you know, how long you been smoking stuff, right? Is he going to talk about that? Wow, I really can't type. Slomling. How long you been smoking stuff in your smoker, right? So is that going to get him? Is that going to get him talking? Is he going to answer stuff? Do you sound like a marketer who's grabbing him in Messenger to try to sell him something? No, you're building a relationship. Hey, cool vid about smoking salmon. How long you been smoking stuff in your smoker? Get a conversation going. Get him talking. You can come around to your sales questions. There's plenty of time for that. Plenty of time for that. And you can get into it faster than you think. But if you come right out the gate with, hey, buy my stuff, could it work? Absolutely. But remember, the question that we were asked is, how can I break the ice and build a relationship? That's what this questioner that started this series was asking about. So that's what we're doing here. Okay. If you want to do a different sales approach, that's fine. But the questions we're asking in this three-parter, we're breaking the ice and building a relationship. All right. You can do that with anybody, right? Just find things that people want to talk about. All right. Shantanu, great guy. I also have built a friendship with him. Look, he's sharing memories with people. He does integrations. He does work stuff. He does funny videos. Um, a lot of his stuff's work, but he also, he's got friends for this, right? 11 years, don't know the actual number. Even if you don't know this, probably Sudeep, person, there's something you could say, hey, I saw your post. You got a memory of somebody you've been friends with on Facebook for 11 years. Isn't that cool? It's great how we can build relationships on Facebook. It's just something comment you can make to him, right? Um, you know, just find stuff. Um, this person here, this person here, Misty. All right. She lives out in Thailand. She lives in a beautiful part of the world, and she posts pictures of herself, relaxing. There's a good thing. Hey, I saw your post of you out at the water. Wow, that looks beautiful. What part of the world is that? Although if you're asking stuff you should probably know, she may not, did she post where she lives? No, she doesn't. So ask her, hey, that looks like a beautiful part of the world. Is that vacation or do you live there? Again, people love talking about themselves. Compliment them, ask questions, find commonality. All right. This is just breaking the ice. We're not going to talk about how to turn this conversation into getting around to your marketing and things like that until the next video. What we want to do now is break the ice so that you can start messaging people and they don't just block you or go, oh, you're a spammer, I'm reporting you to Facebook. You just want to get that conversation going. All right. And these are the important points right here. You can ask them if you really want to get in a little quicker, ask them about their business if that's the kind of stuff they post on Facebook. All right. And it's a little more work. What a lot of people do is if they know they got somebody from a particular group in Facebook, they'll just talk about that group. That's okay. Some of that commonality, that can be the Facebook group where you know them from. Okay? That's fine. You could just talk about that group. Instead of this, you could ask a question like, I saw you in the, such and such group. It's called ABC group. I saw you in the ABC group. How long have you been a member of it? If you start saying, oh, I want to network with people from that group, everybody asks that. Now they're going to go, oh, what are they trying to sell me? How long have you been in that group? Are you getting value from it? Now you sound like somebody who's looking up to their opinion and just has questions, right? Which you probably do, but you may have questions just to get information from them. Oops. I just want to get this so you can see it without me having to make the lettering smaller. I saw you in the ABC group. How long have you been there? How long have you been in that group? Are you getting value from it? These are good, legitimate questions to talk about. If you see a post from them, just like we went into Facebook and went down through their profile, if you see somebody from a group and you want to reach out to them direct and you don't want to necessarily need to do an automation to send friend requests in the group and things like that, you just want to do it. Maybe your comment is on a post in the group, right? Maybe you're just going to ask a specific question. Like I mentioned, with Misty at the water, with Joe at his smoker. You can find a post in the group. Hey, I loved your, instead of saw you, it could be, saw your post about XYZ in the ABC group, right? Loved it. And we're complimenting people, right? Loved it. And then ask a question about it. or make a comment about it. You know, um, that was something I had to learn too. You're just reaching out to people. Just be human. I should probably put that, right? Be human. All right. Even if you're using automation to do some of this, be as human as possible. You don't have to lose your humanity to use automations in your marketing. All right, be human. So I'm not. Hopefully, this is some value here. Some of this is common sense after you hear it, but people don't think of this stuff. They don't know how to break the ice. They've been told to use a script that says, "Hey, I saw you in the ABC group. Would love to network with you. Do you like networking with people?" Well, okay, that's one way to do it. Is that personal? It's not. Has nothing to do with them. It sounds like you're setting them up for a sales pitch, which you are. But if you truly want to break the ice, you don't want to be setting them up for a sales pitch, although you probably are. That's fine. I do that too. But if you can develop a relationship, you're going to get a lot more out of it than just one quick sale that, from somebody you just met and then move on to another sale. So hopefully this has been helpful. Hopefully these points are valuable. And if you have questions, let me know. I'm going to go back and talk to the camera again. Okay. So we're again about it at the 20-minute mark. So I'll shut up now. I've been rambling a little bit, but you know, take the extra time to go find something out about this person, whether you just saw a post in a group and you're reaching out to them, or take that 10 seconds to go back to their profile and find one or two things about them that you can talk about. And if you don't know what to say, ask questions. People love to talk about themselves. We'll talk in the next one about building a relationship, about how to start gearing those questions towards your product or your service or what you have to sell them in a way that you can build a relationship. Okay. And remember, this is not just a how to get sales out of Messenger. If that's all you wanted to know, this will be a completely different video. This is remember the original questions. How do I break the ice? How do I build a relationship? So that's what we're addressing. Okay. That's it. I'm going to sign off now. If you have questions, let me know. And hopefully you've gotten some great value out of this. I will have a part 3 coming up in a couple of days. All right.